and welcome back to Hopefully Hour. So today I thought I would do a review of a model that I did quite a while ago, and I was looking at the videos for some shorts and things like that and thought, well, I don't think I've done a review on this one. So it was a coffee house build that I did several months ago. Obviously it's full of plants, so we did an awful lot of plants, probably more than a coffee shop should really have. But this is what we did. So I thought I'd give it my 5 pros and 5 cons that I do to most of my models now that I complete. In fact, I think all of them. But I'd go back a little while and do a few others for models that I actually possess myself, let's put it that way. Okay, so number 1, I think it's a very detailed build. I think it's beautifully detailed. You've got, you know, like your cakes and things like that, and you can look all the way back into the store, and you've got lots of decorations back there of different pots and cakes and coffee, and you've got a coffee pot there, and they're making their, I'd hope they make their coffee for a coffee house. But they've got one area to make coffee, but an awful lot to buy cakes. So, you know, enjoy those cakes with the coffee, right? But anyway, I think it is very beautifully detailed. It does have a lot going on with it. It was quite a long build to do. But it's quite, like I say, it is detailed. I mean, everywhere you look, you can see something. And some of them, like the posters, are a little bit interesting. And if you saw the videos, you know exactly what I mean. Some of them are just kind of interesting perceptions of things, really. But even looking down into it, you can see it is quite detailed. Secondly, overall it lights up really nicely. I mean, you can see the lights here. This one is lovely. The one behind the sign, it's actually behind it, so it looks pretty cool. You've got the window one up here. This looks nice too. And then you've got one down here, and that one's awesome. And it does have one inside as well, although not as bright as some. Pretty cool though, design. So it does light up very well. Third thing is there's many different crafting types on this, from the flowers where you're folding paper to ones that you're cutting out and sticking on wires. There's others where you are folding things to make books, and making wooden units, making some pictures. This flower where you're just cutting it off like a range of different flowers and putting them into the pots, making spider plants. I mean, there is a huge range of crafting, different crafting methods which have gone on in this build, and I think that is really nice. This is knocked over, I can see, but that is also, this one came with a dust cover, so which obviously I've taken off for the purpose of this, because all it will do is reflect the light, so it wouldn't help you whatsoever. So I think that was nice that it did have lots of different crafting, so that you could really experiment with the types of crafts that you like, and you can learn new things. And I think every build that I do, I tend to learn yet another skill, or hopefully skill. Wouldn't necessarily say it's a skill. Like the fact that the little coffee cup comes as a cup and saucer, just there in there. I think that's really cool as well, that it does come with some pre-made one. There's another one at the top. After me struggling to get to that one, one at the top. It actually always makes me wonder why they have to put books on seats, and they do it all the time. I think they wanted to do it down here, down where the little one is as well. They wanted a book on there, if I remember rightly. Been a while. Anyway, so I think that was really nice. There's some cute element, well, basically, like I've just said, some cute elements like the coffee cups and things like that. Some of the flower pots, there's lots of different designs, from huge ones like this one here, up here, and oops, sorry, plant. Oh, this one's fallen over anyway. And a great big round bead, this one is. I don't know that it's going to come out. I don't think it is. So lots of different colours and things like that for the beads, and I think that was really nice that it had that choice on there for things to make as well. 5th, there was a lot to, I think I already said this, to be honest with you, there was a lot to do in the model. I mean, there really was. It was kept me going for quite a long time. I can't remember how many videos I made. Let me go find out. Okay, it was over a week, so it was 7 days. So not as long as I thought it was, but it was certainly, like I say, quite detailed, and that type of thing. So that was my positives on it. It does actually have a pride of place right now, so until it gets replaced one day, which I'm sure it will. Okay, so on the negatives. So I don't think the instructions were always that clear. Like when we were to put in that there was a sticker, or not a sticker, a label that you're meant to put on that unit right at the back, but I didn't know about it until afterwards, so I kind of squeezed it in there, and yes, I did manage to do it. But things like that, knowing where to put the bits on this bookcase, maybe they do that so you can do it how you want to do it. I kind of like to see what their thoughts are, I guess, and then I may or may not go with it. So I just think some of the instructions were a little bit sketchy, especially actually when putting it all together. It was a little bit more sketchy than I'd like, which nicely takes me into the second negative. This door frame to do was really quite difficult. It had to be balanced. You're only using strips of wood, and there's nothing extra really to hold it together. What holds this together is literally glue. There's no extra supports in order to make sure that it doesn't, you know, go anywhere at all. So I kind of didn't like that. I actually found it, like I say, quite complicated to do, and a bit difficult. I mean, maybe I'm just not the smartest cookie on the block. Is that even the right saying? I think I might have got my sayings muddled up. Anyway, either way, you know what I mean. Alright, number 3. Even though I did say it lights up well, I do think it does, except for inside the shop here. I think with all the work that we did on making, what, 3 units inside there, before the one on the front here, so that would be 4 altogether, and you cannot see them very well, and it would have been nice maybe to have put an extra light down here, so that you could see it a little bit better. And that does take me to number 4, where I feel it's I'm on number 5 now. Number 4. I do feel that it's a little overcrowded, especially actually in here, for my personal taste. I think the plants are a little bit overboard with how many they've got on there. Both there and all the way around, it's like they were trying to find things for us to do. Which they did, of course, but I just think it looks a little bit overboard. I have seen more crowded models, but this one is quite a busy model. And then lastly is to do with this battery box over here. So one, mine doesn't stay closed, as you can see. I don't like this design. But number 2, there's not, this isn't hidden. I mean, you can totally see through here. Wouldn't it have been better to have had something that covered this up so that you don't see it? Because we do have a dust cover, which means we can see in from the top and it's clear. But it just would have made sense to have hidden some of these wires so that you wouldn't see this pickle from the top. And I'll show you what I mean. Right, go back in there. Oh, I turned you off. Sorry about that. Turn it back on. Okay. So, wow, it's obviously got a bit of a loose wire now. But like from the top here, it just looks pretty ugly, doesn't it, really? Anyway, okay, now go bright again. How weird. I've obviously got a loose wire in there, but that's okay. That's what happens. So that's my final negatives. Sorry, I lost count. Totally distracted myself, really. But overall, my final thoughts is I do think it looks lovely. I really do. I think it's a very beautiful model, and I think it's actually quite inviting to sit in if, you know, it was such a thing. Even though they're not expecting many people to eat all of those cakes and sit down when they've only got 2 chairs there. So got to be takeout, right? That's what they're going with. So maybe a few more chairs instead of all these plants would have been quite nice to have had another set of chair on here or something, do you know what I mean? So it looks more like a cafe because it's got more than one table and chairs. But yeah, I mean that would have been my, anyway, yeah. So I do think that, like I say, I think it's a lovely model. Would I recommend it? Yes. However, try and get some practice in on getting these plants done. There's a lot of work with them. They're all different like skills really, and some are more complicated than not, and some of the instructions are better than others, so just take your time on it. So you don't have to have loads of practice on doing models, but some is helpful with this type of model. Anyway, any comments are more than welcome. Please do leave them. I will respond to you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, but most important, do take care of yourself. Take care, guys. Bye bye now.